ज्ञानतिमृन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं राधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरकृष्णे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्यस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नवमतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 40, verse number 7. So these are prayers of Akrura to Sri Krishna when he saw him inside the Yamuna water in the form of Mahavishnu or Vishnu, Narayana, on the coil of Sheshnag. So in the previous verses he described the different processes, because that is the main topic of this chapter, the various means of worship by different type of people. So Sankhya yogis, Raj yogis, Karma yogis, Jnana yogis, and now it's talking about bhaktas. Anya cha sanskritatmano vidhina bhitena te yajanti tvanmaya stvam vai bahumurti ekamurtikam. Then there are others who are Sanskritatma, means they are Dikshita. Sanskrita here means that they have undergone the samskara. And to do worship you have to have the samskara. So that is the Diksha samskara. So Sanskritatmana here means Dikshita, Vaishnava Diksha. So they have the adhikar to do puja. So vidhina abhihitena te. So according to the vidhi or the process which has been given by you, yajanti tvanmaya tvam vai bahumurti ek murtikam. They worship you in one of the forms because you have various murtis, various forms. So one of them they worship and they are tvanmaya, means they are devoted to you. So means their mind is absorbed in you. So that is the process of worship and also the purpose. It is both sadhana, sadhya, that one becomes fully absorbed in it. So Vaishnava Marga Maha Neti, Vaishnava Marga is described here. Sanskritatmana ityetad anyopaska asanskrit manasa iti labhyate. So by using the word Sanskritatmana, that they have undergone the samskara, that signifies that there are also other types of worshippers who are not like that. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says avidhi purvakam, tevi mameva konte yajanti avidhi purvakam. So there are people also who do puja without following the vidhi. ये शास्त्र विधि मुत्सुज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धान्विता तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्तो माहो रजस्तम. This was Arjuna's question also, that what is the nishtha of the people who worship you with shraddha but not following shastra. Shastra vidhi mutsrijya. So therefore there are two types of worshippers when it comes to worshipping the deity. Some are following the vidhi and others are not following. So there is a shastriya shraddha and then there is a shastriya shraddha. They, obviously if they are worshipping they must have some shraddha, because without shraddha no one will worship. But that shraddha can be based on shastra, understanding or study of shastra, or it can be based on social convention, samajik shraddha. So that's what he is referring here, that iti etad anya upaska asanskrit manasa iti. And here is also Atma, he is referring to the mind, means their mind is purified and others is not purified. So sanskar also means purification. That is also another meaning of sanskara, that one gets purified. So the sanskaras also bring eligibility to engage in act, and that is also a type of purification. So without that one is not, if one is following shastra. And then vidhina pancharatra drishtena. So vidhi here he says is according to the pancharatra. So in Bhagavatam Krishna says Vediki Tantriki iti. So that there are vidhis which is Vedic and also Tantric. Tantric means Pancharatrika. Vediki Tantriki cha Vediki Tantri Mishraiti me Trividho Vidhi. So three types, Vediki, Pancharatriki and mixture. So few times he mentions this in 11th Canto. Thus Pancharatra is process for those who are also not qualified to follow the Vedic Vidhi. So Tvaya Abhihitena, this is spoken by you. as it is said, Pancharatrasya Sarvasya Vakta tu Bhagavan Sme Iti Smrite. So the complete body of literature called Pancharatra is spoken by Bhagavan Swayam, spoken by Narayana to Narada. This is big chapter in a big discussion or explanation in Mahabharata, also about Narada going and meeting Narayana. So tasya param pramanyat sarvto manyatvam dyotitam. And because it is spoken by Bhagavan himself, therefore it is supremely authoritative. And thus it is accepted by all. Sarvto manyatvam. This is the significance of calling it as vidhina abhitena. Antarbahis twadiyas spurtimatvat tvanmaya. And yajanti tvanmaya. So they worship you, and their qualification or adjective is tvanmaya. So he glosses tvanmaya as antarbahir tvadiya spurtimatra. Means they are having your spurti or awareness inside as well as outside. Inside means within themselves they feel your presence. Outside means Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So this is the vision of a devotee. This is the vision of a bhakta, that he feels the presence of Bhagavan within and without. Because everything is his manifestation. As we said earlier, that his potencies, three potencies. In the last chapter, how various potencies were described. He saw that Narayana was being worshipped by Ila, Jaya, Urja, Shakti, all this Vidya, Avidya. So all these Shaktis are his only. So therefore, Bahu Murtikam api Ek Murtikam iti. That although he has various murtis, Nana Murti, the various forms, but ultimately he has one form. And all these forms come from him. So iti tan murti nam chinmayi nam nanatvapi ekam akyam abhiprayam. So here he is talking specifically about the murtis of Narayana, as Vamana, Nrsimhadev, Krishna, Vishnu, Bhagavan Ramchandra. So all these murtis, they are Chinmaya Murti, they are all transcendental forms of Bhagavan. And although there are various, and still they are one, because he is only one person who manifests in these forms. So this is Abhipretam, this is the intention. Eko Vashi Sarvagaha Krishna Idya Ekopisan Baudha Yo Bhati. So he is one, he is the controller, he is all pervading, he is Krishna and he is worshipable. And although he is one, he manifests in various forms. So this is, I think it's from Gopal Tapni Upanishad. Tvamevanye Shivoktena Margena Shivrupinam Bhavacharya Vibhedena Bhagavan Samupasate. Then there are others who worship you according to the path described in the Shaiva Shastra. Shivoktena Margena. So they worship you in the form of Shiva. And there are different acharyas. So even among the Saivism there are different types of Saivism. Kashmir Saivism is there, and then there is Saivism in Dakshin Bharat. It is different. So they all worship Shiva according to their Bahu Acharya Vibhedena, according to the different acharyas who have propagated this Shiva worship. There are many, how many these saints appeared? 60? 63? But there is a name for that? Naya? Naina. Yeah, Naina. So they propagated Shaivism. So they worship Shiva, Shaiva Marga. So Shaiva Marga Maha, so described Shaiva Marga. Tvameva iti evakara purvato nyunatvam bodhayati. So he is saying that the word eva in this verse signifies that this worship is inferior to the worship described in the previous one. Because there he says that they worship you, and now he says Tvameva, that they also worship you as Shiva. Not that Shiva is worshipped as you, but you being worshipped as Shiva, then who is prominent? Obviously he. So Raja eva ayam Yuvraja iti vat. Just like if king is there, or these days prime minister or president of country, then if he has some relative or son, etc., they are also called prime minister, right? No? Yeah, in India it is. You know that boy who comes here, this Bittu? He's always calling himself as Bittu Pradhan. So his father, who is no more, was once upon a time a Pradhan, means chief of the village. So he is not, but he is, he calls his name as Bittu Pradhan. So this is Gaun Prayoga. So in India, if there is one minister in the house, everybody is minister. In the West, it's not like that. No, maybe you don't have experience in this. But in India, it is very common. No? So if somebody has one post, then everybody takes that. So that's why it says that king is there, in olden times king, and then there is a prince. So then prince is also called king. It's like Duryodhana is called king. Raja Vachanam Abravit. But Raja is Dhritarashtra. But he is also called Raja. So Bahu Acharya Vibhedena Shaiva Pashupatadina Narupena. So there is a Shaiva, then there is a Pashupat, another division of Shaiva. Bhagavantam Upashate. So they worship Bhagavan in these forms. Bhagavan Samupasate iti partdvaya. So there are two part readings, Bhagavan Upasate and Bhagavan Samupasate. Both have the same meaning. Sarvaiva yajanti tvam sarvadeva mayeshwaram yepyanna devata bhakta yadyapi annadhiya prabhu. So he says that all these people who are worshipping, so they are worshipping you, who is Sarvadeva Maya. You are the embodiment of all devas. And you are Ishvara. So they worship all these devas, considering them as non-different from you. But this is also your worship. Yepi anna devata bhakta yadyapi annadhiya prabhu. So although they are worshipping other devatas and they have different dhi, means they think they are the Ishwaras, They don't think of you as the Ishvara, but they think they are the Ishvara, but still this is also your worship. This is to be understood. So eva mukta lakshana yogi karmi prabhritya upaska sarveva tvam yajanti. So in this way, all these people who have been mentioned in the previous verses, different yogis, karmis, so there are various types of worshippers, but they worship only you. Kuta iti aha. So how do you say this? So he says Sarvadeva Maya Ishvara, because you are Sarvadeva Maya. It is you only who are manifest. Because earlier it was also said that there are different angas, limbs of Bhagavan's cosmic form, of the devas. So taveva sarvadeva mayatvat ishvaratvat. So because you are the embodiment of all the devas and you are also the Ishvara of everyone, controller. Nanu kechit prishta. So now some people ask, whom do you worship? So what they will say? Vayam Shivam archayama. We worship Shiva. Vayam tu Suryam archayama. We worship Surya. Vayam tu Ganesham archayama. So he says, why you are saying they are worshipping you? If you ask them, whom do you worship? They don't say, we worship Krishna, we worship Vishnu, Narayana. I worship Shiva. Whom do you worship? Why worship Ganesh? Right? So how do you say that they are all worshipping me? So you ask them, they will tell different names, whomever they worship. So therefore it says, Yepi Anna Devata Bhakta. It says even those who are Devata, Bhaktas of other Devatas, they are also worshipping you only. Krishna also says, he uses the same word, Yepi Anna Devata Bhakta. Nanu te kadachit kamapi smritim mayi na dadate tatrahe yadya. So he says, but they never remember me. You say they are worshipping me, but they don't think of me. They never think that I am the Ishvara. So then he says, Yadyapi Anyadhya. Even then, Anyeshu eva devashu natatvai dhiriyesham. So earlier he says Tonmaya. Means inside, outside, they are only thinking of you. And here they are not thinking, they are anyadhi, they are thinking of someone else. But still they worship you. Why? Because you are Prabhu. So Prabhu means Prakrishtainam Bhuyat Prabhu. Who is Bhu means Sattayam, who is everywhere. From Bhu comes Bhavan, Bhavanam, to be. So he is everywhere. Bhu is the first dhatu in the dhatu part. Without Bhu there is nothing. Can there be? Bhu dhatu means to be. Without being, can anything be? Right? See, therefore Panini put Bhu as the first dhatu. That you may do anything, but you cannot do anything without Bhu. Just like you are on Bhumi, on earth. You may jump, you may walk, you may sleep, you may do anything. You can walk on one leg, two legs, you can walk on your hands, right? Or on your hands. But you are still on ground. You can fall down. So, cannot be anywhere but on Bhumi. So like that. So therefore, he is Prabhu. So yatha, then he gives the logic for this. Yathadri prabhava nadyah parjanya purita prabho vishanti sarvatah sindhum tadvatvam gatayon tataha. So he said, just like various rivers, they originate in different mountains, right? Rivers come from the mountains. And then they get filled up or they swell by the rainwater. Because when they start from the mountain, it may be a small stream. Little you may wonder that is this Ganga? If you go to the Gangotri, it's just a trickle there. Everything gets added up later on. So many other streams join rainwater when the rainy season, the water is coming. So that joins, then by the time it comes down, it becomes a huge river. So therefore it says, Parjanya Apurita Prabhu. So these rivers, they start in the mountain, then they are nourished by rainwater. But in the end, where do they end up? They end up in Sindhu. So in the ocean. So Vishanti Sarvatah Sindhum Tadvatvam Gateo Antata. In the same way, all this worship, puja of all the devas, it comes to you. So Akas Patitam Toya Yatha Gacchati Sagaram Sarvadeva Namaskara Keshvam Prati Gacchati. Famous sloka that the water which falls from the Akash, from the sky, ultimately it reaches the ocean. Right? From here, there, anywhere, unless it gets caught up in a pond. Otherwise, it will manage to reach there. In the same way, the namaskara, the obeisances, the prayers, the puja which is done to other devas, it reaches Keshava. Because he is the ocean, he is the source. From where the rainwater comes? From the ocean. So it goes back there. Because everything goes into cycle. Otherwise, one day there will be no rain. If the rainwater does not reach the ocean, from where it will keep on coming? Someday the ocean has to become empty. Although you may say it is unlimited, but it is also limited. So limited will come to an end if you keep on taking away water from it. So it goes back. So like that, all these devas, they come from him, and all the puja goes to him. That's the logic. So now he writes a nice comment on this. Nanu yadi mameva archayanti tarhite mameva prapnuyu. So question is raised that if they are all worshipping me, then they should all come to me. But it is not. Bhutani yanti bhutejya. Right? Madhyajinopi mam. Right? Pitrani yanti pitrivata bhutani yanti. So those who worship the Pitris, they go to the Pitris. Those who worship Bhutas, those who worship Devas, they go to Deva. Why everybody should go to Vaikuntha? But it is not like that. So Maivam Tesham Archana Eva Tvam Prapnuvanti. So he says that they worship you, so their worship comes to you, not they. It's a very nice point he makes. He says, no, it's not like that. Tesam archana eva tvam prapnuvanti natu te archaka. He says these worshippers don't reach you, their worship reaches you. And therefore they get what they want. Right? Yaduktam tvayaiva yepi anna devata bhakta yajante shraddhanvita tepi mameva konte yajanti vidhipurvaka. So he says, I am not saying it, you have said it, that even the worshippers of other devatas, they worship with Shraddha, they also worship me only, O Arjuna. But they worship avidhi purvakam. So from that we understand that there is two types of worship, avidhi purvakam and vidhi purvakam. Yajanti avidhi purvakam, he himself is saying. So they are also worshipping, but avidhi purvakam. So that means there is also vidhi purvakam. If there was no vidhi purvakam, how there will be avidhi purvakam? Right? If there is no pot, can you break it? No. So this is the Nyaya principle, that abhav is pratyogi sapeksha. You cannot deny something which does not exist. You cannot speak about the non-existence of something which doesn't exist. Non-existence proves existence. Because first existence has to come, then comes non-existence. How can there be non-existence to begin with? Non-existence of what if it has never existed? Okay. Something, then you cannot speak about it. You cannot say it's non-existent. Only after it has. First you make the pot, then you break it. Then you say the pot is broken. You cannot say pot is broken before it is made. You cannot die before you take birth. Right? Can you die before taking birth? So therefore first vidhi purvak has to be there, then some people break the vidhi. First rule has to be there, then some people flout the law. Right? So first there have to be nice people, then criminals come. There cannot be criminals to begin with. Asuras come later, first devas come. So yajanti avidhi purvakam. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. He says, I am the bhokta, I am the person who gets, I am the beneficiary of all the yajnas and also the master. Na tu mam abhijananti tattvena atasya. But those who do not know me, they will glide down from the truth, because he is the truth. So yanti devrata devan, pitrin yanti pitrivrata, bhutani yanti bhutejya, yanti madhyajanopi man. So yanti devrata devan, those who worship devas, they go to devas. Those who worship pitris, they go to pitris. Right? You can also go, you are worshipping some pitri, right? You can go to them. And bhutani yanti bhutajya, those who worship ghosts, they will become ghosts in next life. Because they like whatever you worship, that's what you become. And those who worship me, they come to me. So then, ityato ahamapi drishtantena tathaiv vachmi itya. So he says that, Akrura says, I am also saying the same thing. You are not understanding. Yatha iti. So how is he saying it? He says, adribhya sakashat prakarshena bhavanti ta adribhir janita ityartha. So he says, first look, try to understand the sloka. He says, nadyaha adri prabhava. So rivers, they manifest from the mountain. Prabhava means pratham darshan. The first vision of the river happens in the mountain. So therefore that is called prabhava in Sanskrit. It is not birth. It is called first darshan. So prabhava, so they are there. Then when they are coming down on the way, there is rainwater joining them. Parjanyena meghena apurita. So the clouds shower water. Clouds also rain on the mountain more than on the ground. So then that water also gets mixed. Adrishu parjanya vrishtani jalani eva atah tata eki bhuyo nadyo bhavanti. He says it's actually rainwater which falls on the mountains here, there. They all get collected and becomes a river. No rain, the river gets dried up. So, tascha nadya sarvata prasritya antata sindhum gatiyo gamyante. So he says then all these rivers, sindhum gatayo antata. Finally they reach the ocean, the sea. Abhiriti marg bhuta archana eva tvam prapnuvanti. And the archana, the worship, so that comes to you, natu archaka. Oh, I missed one line. So then he gives that tascha nadya sarvata prasritya anta sindhum vishanti. So finally these rivers which originate in the mountain, they enter into the ocean. So he says that adri janita nadyeva yatha sindhum prapnuvanti natu nadi janka adreya. He says it is the rivers which generate from the mountain which go to the ocean, not the generator of the rivers. Mountain does not reach the ocean. Mountain remains wherever it is, the rivers which go. So similarly, so nadi janka adreyas tathaiva gatiyo gamyante marg bhuta archana eva tvam prapnuvanti. So he says in the same way, the worshippers who are worshipping, their worship goes not the worshipper. Because worship originates in the worshipper. Right? So the worshipper stays like a mountain, wherever it is, and the worship is like the river. So the egos and ocean is like Ishvara, Bhagavan, because all the water comes from the ocean. Right? So it goes. So all the puja, everything which is coming, it comes from the Vedas. So it goes back there, but the worshipper stays there unless he is worshipping Vishnu. So adhishtan puja adhishtatri eva paryavashyati tinyaya taveva sarvadeva adhishtatri. So he says you are the adhisthata of all the devas, means you are situated in all of them. And the worship of adhishtan is the worship of adhisthatra. Worship of this deva is actually worship of the person who is inside them, the presiding deity. It's their worship. So sarvdev puja api tvat puja eva iti bhava. Therefore the puja of all the devas is also only your puja. Atra parjanya sthaniyo vedaha. So the cloud is like the Veda. Parjanyo hi sindhu jalmayatvat. And the Parjanya, the cloud, from where it comes? From the river, Sindhu. That is like God. Sindhor udbhuta. Vedopi tvatta udbhuta. The Vedas have come from you. Tadukta nana pujan vidhyeva jalani. And the various types of worship is the water. Like various types of clouds are there. Cloud is not only of one type. And there are various types of clouds, different colors and different heights. So these are various types of pujas, worships, coming from the same ocean. Tatra adhikarina eva adreya. And the worshippers who are following the various types of puja, these are the various mountains. So tatkrita nana devesha puja eva nana desh nadya. And the worship which is done by these worshippers, which are like mountains, these are the rivers found in different places. Like in Maharashtra they worship Ganesh, in Bengal they worship Kali, in Kashmir they worship Shiva, in Jagannath Puri they worship Jagannath Baba. Right? So different places there are different pujas. So nana desh nadyo yatha nana deshebhya nishritya sindhumeva gachanti tathai puja api devebhyo nishritya Vishnu. So just like all these rivers, they come out from the various mountains and river water, and they go to the ocean. Like that, the puja comes out from these devas. So you go and do arti to Ganesh, that arti comes out from the Ganesh, goes to Vishnu. But only the puja goes to him, not you. So this is the logic. सत्वरजस्तमेति भवतः प्रकृतेर्गुणः तेषु हि प्राकृता प्रोता आब्रह्म स्थावरादयः. So he says that you have your prakriti, primordial nature, and it has got three gunas: sattva, rajas and tamas. So sattva, rajas, tamai prakritir guna. So badhananti, they bind. So the jiva is bound by this. Guna also means rope, thread. Teshu hi prakrita prota abrahma sthavarade. So beginning from Brahma up to the immovable living beings, everything is tied by these ropes of gunas. Prota. Prota means oath and prota, like you have threads in the cloth. So they are horizontal and vertical if you put the cloth like that. So that is called ota and prota. So like that, everybody is completely tied by the gunas of Prakriti. Wherever you go, you are under the influence of the gunas. You take the air, you drink water, you eat food, you look at something. Everything is guna only. So you are completely under the influence of, and that is what Prakriti is. So because of that, when people worship different variety of devas. So nanu tarhye vivicya sarvepi kim mameva no pasate tatra. So then if Krishna asks or Narayana asks, then if this is the case, that only the puja comes to me and not they, then why they don't understand it and worship me only? Right? If ultimately it is going to him, then why go through somebody else? Why not have a direct? If you can worship him directly, then why worship him through someone else? So that is the question. So tatraha sattvam. He says, yes, this is true, but they cannot have this kind of viveka, this type of understanding, because of the three gunas. So sattva rajastama asti prata guna prakriti sambhava badhananti mahabahu. So they bind. Binding means that they cover the intelligence. They cover our awareness. So we are not able to think, like you cannot see beyond the clouds. There is a sun and there is a thick layer of cloud. We don't see the sun. If the layer is not very thick, some light comes. If the cloud is whitish in color, then you may have more light. If it is dark color, then you have very little light. Right? So therefore, because of the gunas, there is different levels of clarity of understanding. Teshu guneshu hi nishchitam prakrita jiva prota grathita. So they are all tied or bound by these gunas or in these gunas, all the conditioned beings. Abrahma iti, so Brahma pariyanta, up to Brahma api jiva. Not only we here on earth, but even Brahma is bound. Yadi maya mohyante tari sarve manujas tvam katham bhajanta. So if people like Brahma, they are bound, and what to speak of people like us here on earth? We are certainly deluded. Tubhyam namaste tvavishakta drishtaye sarvatmane sarvadhiyam cha sakshine guna pravahoyam avidyaya kritaha pravartate devani triyagatmasu. So he bows down. How to get rid of these gunas? So he says, I bow down to you, who are avishakta drishtaye, who are separate from all this and who are detached. You are sarvatmana, you are the Atma of everyone, and sarvadhiyam cha sakshine. You are the witness of everyone's mind, everyone's intelligence. So drashta, anumanta is both. And guna pravahoyam avidyaya krita. So this flow of guna has been created because of avidya. Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantava. Pravartate deva niritriyagatmas. And this is in everybody. Even devatas are under the influence of this. That's why many times people say, how is that Indra did this? He is a devata. He is also under he becomes influenced. Brahma also. They all become influenced. So Nri, human beings, Triyak. Triyak means subhuman forms. So they are all under the influence of gunas. Te tvam praptum tubhyam mam namostu. So he says, I want to attain you only and not be like these other who worship you and only the worship comes to you and they don't come. Therefore I worship you only. So he says, tubhyam namaste. Tab tu svabhaktebhyo anyeshu upasakeshu drishtir na rajyati itya. So your drishti does not go to other people who are worshipping others. Means other than your devotees who are worshipping other people, you don't look at them. You only look at your devotees. Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsavra sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So maya veshita chetasam. They have put their chetas in me, so I uplift them without any delay. And these people have not put their mind on me, so I don't look at them. Let these other devas look at them. It's very simple. So avishakta drishtaye, therefore you are avishakta drishtaye. Your drishti is separate. Katham tarhi sarva deva pujam tvam prapnoshi iti brushi. Then why do you say that all this puja of all the devas reaches you? You are speaking like this. He asked Akrura, then if I don't look at them, then why you say that their puja comes to me? If their puja comes to me, I should look or not? So then he says, Yohi yebhya pujam prapnoti sateshu anurajyate eva. He says that anyone who gets someone's worship, then one who gets the worship should look at the person who is doing the puja or not. Right? Otherwise, why would one do puja? Why would one praise you if you don't look at him? If he knows that you are not going to care if I do your puja, right? Then after some time people will stop. There are many temples of, say, Krishna, right? In Vrindavan, right? Hundreds of temples. So why Bihariji is so popular? If you go to Radharaman, if you go to Radha Govindji, right, Radha Damodar, Krishna is there in every temple. So why everybody is flocking to Biharijan? So whether it is true or not true, I don't know, but the people who are flocking there think that he is looking at us. And at other place he is not. That is the reason. Means you pray to him, he will fulfill your wish. Why so many people are going around Govardhan? Right? And I'm not getting job, I'm not getting married, I'm not this. So do Govardhan Parikrama. So Govardhan Baba finds you a girl. Then you tell 10 other people, then they are coming. So this is the reason. So he says, the rule is this, that whoever does puja, then the person who is getting the puja, he looks means reciprocates. But you are not reciprocating, so how is this? So he says, Sarv adhishtatritvad eva tattat pujam prapnoshi natu tasyam tav kachid apeksha. He says that it comes to you naturally. You are not looking for this puja, and they are also not giving it to you. Somebody is worshipping Ganesh, he is not thinking of Krishna. He is only thinking of Ganesh Baba. What is that? Bappa Moria? What is that chant? Ganpati Bappa Moria. Right? So he is doing Ganpati Bappa Moria, and Krishna is not bothered about that. Because he is not identifying himself with Ganpati. But it so happens that this puja comes to him, so it comes, he doesn't look at it. That's why he says Avishakta Drishti. He is only a witness. So therefore he doesn't become attached to this person. It is Ganpati who will take care. So therefore he says that that Kachid apeksha, and you are not interested in it because you are fulfilled in yourself. Tepi tvam na pujayanti, and they are also not worshipping you. Their purpose is also not to worship you. So kutastavteshu asakti, so why should you be attached to them? Ye yatha mam prapadyate prapadyante tams tathai bhajamyaham. So they are not doing any prapatti to you, so you also say, fine, take a walk. It remains. So, samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti napriya. Atah sakshina iti sakshitvam sarvatra udasini. Therefore you are only a sakshi. Sarvdhyam cha sakshine, which means sakshi means indifferent. Witness has to be indifferent. If witness takes sides, then he is not a witness. Then he will be disqualified to give witness. If somebody is witness in a particular case, then he has to be impartial. If the judge finds out that he is not impartial, then he will reject his statement. So he says, I am a witness, therefore I have to be indifferent. So I let the puja come or not come. Doesn't matter. Nanu tarhi te deva swasva upaska tan uddharantu tatraha guna. So he says, then these devas, they should uplift their worshippers and liberate them. Since you do not care, because they do not care for you, but they care for that Ganpati, then Ganpati should give mukti to them or not? So he says the problem is that he cannot. So that's why he says Deva Nri Triyag Atmas Guna Pravaha. So they are all under the influence of the gunas, they cannot do it. So Guna iti asakrit nirantar Deva Nri Triyag Atmano yesham teshu devadi sharir abhimanishu. So all these people, they are until unstopped continuously under the influence of this guna pravaha, and they also have abhiman of that particular dev body. Tattad upasya devapi swayam guna pravaha patita. So all these upasya and upasaka both are under the influence of guna, because deva, nri, the deva and worshipable as well as nri, the worshipper, both are flowing in the same flow of the gunas. So then how is it? If you are in the river yourself cannot get out of it, somebody else is drowning there, how will you get him out? You cannot get out yourself. You may not be drowning, but you are still in the water only. So he will remain, at most you can protect him from not drowning, but he will remain there and can drown any day. So that's the situation. So katham swapaskan stan uddharantu iti bhava. So he says, then where is the possibility that they can uplift their worshippers? So not possible. So we'll stop here. Any question? Mohini.
Pranam Babaji, I had a question. Yesterday, please can you correct me or correct my understanding. Yesterday we discussed that from Prakriti, Mahatattva comes, and then Ahankar, which is in Sattva, Rajas or Tamas, and Tamas. Is this correct that also Sutra comes out from Pradhan?
Yes.
And what exactly is that Sutra? Because we discussed Mahat and Ahankar, and what is that Sutra? What is coming out from Sutra?
Nothing comes out.
So Sutra is just the Kriya Shakti.
Yes.
And that Kriya Shakti works on the Ahankar.
Yes.
And so the Kriya Shakti or the Sutra does not work on Chitta. Is that correct?
It doesn't work, just like Chitta is also not working on anything.
Okay. Yeah. And the last question, Pradhan and Prakriti, these are synonyms or there is a difference? Okay, thank you very much.
Little difference from point of view of the words are different. Pradhan generally indicates in which everything gets dissolved, and Prakriti is indicative from which everything comes, but they're both same.
Okay, and where is this sutra more described? Are there any books?
There's no description.
Okay, and a last question I had, like you mentioned also the Dhatu part of Panini. Is that also available in English?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Shalas.
Babaji, if the worship of the devas goes to Vishnu, then why would the devas award the benediction for which they are being worshipped?
Because they are worshipping him, particular deva.
But if everything goes to Vishnu, then it looks like they're left with nothing much.
What is there? If it did not go, what will be left?
Pardon me?
Suppose it did not go to Vishnu, so what are they left with?
Well, I mean, all the respects and things like that. If someone is worshiping the object of this worship, then all the glorification goes to that person directly who is being worshipped. But then, if that glorification is being redirected to Vishnu,
so it comes to them first.
Yeah.
If somebody gives you respect, does that respect keep on hanging on you for a long time, or is this, suppose somebody says, Salas, you are great, you are Ishvara, then what happens after that? Is it something physical which sticks to you, or you just hear it and feel happy? And then because Salas is part of Vishnu, then if Salas is great, then Vishnu is also great or not? Ultimately, you have no independent existence of Vishnu. So whatever is said about you goes to him. In that sense, that's what it means.
Yes. Okay.
You can take the mic.
Regarding Devata worship that is been discussed today, if Paramatma does not solidify, correct me if I am wrong, if I understand this, if Paramatma does not solidify the faith in a person who is worshipping a Deva, he cannot worship that Deva. And even if Paramatma does not inspire that Deva to award something, even Deva also cannot award that result to that person. So here Paramatma is helping both of them. So if he is unattached, how he is helping them. And next part to it, how to see when Arjuna is asked by Krishna, when he guides him to worship Shiva to get Pashupatastram, or in Ramayana also Saraswati appears and blesses Valmiki to write Ramayana, and in many devotee stories also we see how to see these two contexts.
So Paramatma can remain detached. Detached does not mean that he is inactive or impotent or anything like that. He sees that someone is making an action, so he gives the result of that. But he is not attached. If you don't make action, he is not going to say, why you are not doing it? Or he becomes, oh my God, now what will happen? He stopped the worship. So similarly, Devas give the result, or it's not that Paramatma is sitting there and inspiring. This is a way of explaining it. If he is doing worship of the Deva, then Deva already has the power to bless, which is coming from him. And he said that all the water comes from the ocean. So the idea is that nobody is independent. Otherwise there will be too many Ishwaras. That's what we read in yesterday's class, that there cannot be many Sarveshwaras. So that is the idea behind it. So if he is giving, then that does not make him biased or anything. He is according to your karma, he gives result. He remains detached. So Arjuna is saying that you want to win the war, then go to Shiva and get from him. So he has also made, because it does not mean that now we should not care for all these devas, this and that. They are also there. Because this type of story are not in Bhagavatam. Different books are explaining things for different class of people. So Varnashram is one of the very important part of Indian culture. So Bhagavatam is not speaking much about Varnashram. Bhagavatam's whole goal is to explain pure bhakti. That is the stress here from the very beginning. So there Mahabharata prominent is Varnashram, which is necessary for the society. So in Varnashram there are all these worships are there. Different deities are there. We do yajna for the devatas. Krishna also speaks this in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Although he is saying Yepi Anna Devata Bhakta, but then before that he says that te deva bhaviyantuga parasparam bhaviyanta shreva paramavapshate. He also talks, that's part of karma yoga. So when he is describing karma yoga, he is also speaking that. Deva bhavetanena. Deva bhavayantuva. Sahagya prajasrishta puravacha prajapati. So he made a system, a global system of yajna. So that everybody, because everybody is not going to take to pure bhakti. When people become devotee, or especially in our sampradaya, Varnashrama is not given much stress. So then they think that there should be only this and everything should just collapse. This is a problem. People talk like that and they speak like that and they even minimize others and maybe make a mockery of them. This is not true, which is, not proper. Because Bhagavan himself has propagated it and it is needed. So if you understand, and everybody has different adhikar, he says that yogastraya mayo prokta nirnam shreya vidhitsaya jnanam karancha bhakti na upayo vidyate kutrachit. So he says, I have propagated 3 types of yogas, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. So he has propagated. Because there are people who need that. So now if you just say that only bhakti, everywhere, wherever yoga comes, karma yoga comes, jnana yoga comes, translate it as bhakti. So that is not what Krishna's intention is in speaking Gita. He is explaining bhakti ultimately, but he has also explained others. So those who have adhikar for that, then don't disturb them. That's what he says, na buddhi vedam janiyada. Don't do buddhi veda. Don't disturb somebody's shraddha. If somebody is curious, wants to know, that is different, but everybody has got their own shraddha. And you cannot change everybody's shraddha. Because there is variety, human beings, their chitta, their samskaras, their upbringings, their karma, they are different. So this should be understood.
There are two ways to do bhakti, to worship. One following Shastra and the other one not following the Shastra. So more like social, you mentioned social something. So what is the outcome of the second?
Outcome? Depends what they want.
I mean, worshipping Krishna without following the injunction.
Yeah, but why are you worshipping? That's what I'm saying. What do you want?
Why? Okay.
Outcome depends on your sankalpa.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What is your wish?
Mm-hmm.
Sandeep.
So yesterday, as you told Bhakti Sandarbha, that whenever we worship any of these other devas, either there has to be worshipped as a manifestation or a devotee or as a dishtan, that Krishna is a dishtan. But if a person is worshipping where in not any of these 3 ways, then will the worship go? Then will the worship go? Like that river flowing to the sea example, will it go then?
Yes.
Still it will go?
Yes.
Why? Why it will go? Because he is not having that Shraddha.
Why should it not go?
Because he is not having any of these 3 conceptions in his mind.
Then why is saying that there is avidhi purvakam? Worship is there. Why Arjuna is asking that question? If everything is coming from him, he is the ultimate source. Whether you do it by vidhi or not vidhi, it ultimately ends, but the result will be different. If you do it, that doesn't mean both will get the same result. That's what he said, that the archakas will not go to him, only the worship will go. It's unavoidable, just like the rainwater will reach ocean. So like that. He's sitting in everybody's heart, isn't it? Whether you believe in him or not. So then you may say, why is he sitting in the heart of the non-believer? Right? You can ask. So if he's there, then if you pay obeisances to somebody, then ultimately that obeisance is going to him. That's the meaning of namaste actually. Namaste is not namaste. Namaste means I bow down. It really means I bow down to the Supreme in you. That is the real meaning of it. Because you don't have an existence without him. If somebody pours water on your head, will it fall on the ground or not? It doesn't matter what concept you have about earth, water, yourself, this will go because you are on the earth. So it's like that.